90.3 FM, and the program is Matters. What are we talking about today? Ahead of the 2027 general election, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar on Thursday attended a closed-door meeting of the African Democratic Congress ADC coalition leaders in Abuja. Now, the closed-door meeting held at an undisclosed venue in the Federal Capital Territory was attended by former Senate President and ADC National Chairman David Mark, former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai. Also present were Minister of Digital Economy Issa Pantami, former Sokoto State Governor Aminu Tambuwal, former Kwara State Governor Abdul Fattah Ahmed, and ex-Minister of Transportation Rotimi Amici. Atiku confirmed his presence through a post on X where he described the gathering as a part of a broader resistance movement. The former vice president emphasized that the opposition bloc is determined to present a credible alternative to President Bola Tinubu's administration. Discussions at the meeting centered on strengthening unity within the opposition bloc and harmonizing strategies for the 2027 elections. At the top of the resolutions was the suspension of efforts to register the proposed All Democratic Alliance ADA, which the coalition had earlier applied to the Electoral Commission for recognition. ADC National Chairman David Mark presided over the session. Labour Party's 2023 presidential candidate Peter Obi sent apologies but pledged his loyalty to the coalition. According to ADC's National Publicity Secretary Bolaji Abdullahi, three major discussions were reached. First, all presidential aspirants agreed to back whoever emerges as the party's candidate for the primaries. The second is the major talking point, though. Members are directed to resign their membership in other political parties and fully commit to the ADC. Third, the National Working Committee will announce a date for primaries in Osun and Ekiti ahead of the off-cycle governorship elections. But the big question is ADC losing its momentum? That is what we're talking about today on Matters. You can call me Solo. You can call me Mr. Solo. You can call me Souls, S-O-L-S. You can call me Mr. Souls, but officially, I am Solomon Offem. Welcome to Matters. If you're just tuning in, this is Matters on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. Ahead of the 2027 general elections, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, former Senate President ADC and the ADC National Chairman David Mark, former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai, ex-Minister of Digital Economy Issa Pantami, former Sokoto State Governor Aminu Tambuwal, former Kwara State Governor Abdul Fattah Ahmed, and ex-Minister of Transportation Rotimi Amici attended a closed-door meeting of the African Democratic Congress ADC coalition leaders in Abuja. The big question there is ADC losing its momentum? The coalition was buzzing in its first few weeks and months of coming together. Everybody couldn't stop talking about them. Even APC and PDP leadership and members were talking about them more than they were talking about their parties. The coalition dominated national and political discourse. There were solidarities and support as much as there were mudslingings.
I have a tournament.
But until the closed-door meeting that happened yesterday, they've been very quiet. The last we heard of the coalition were uncertainties and infighting. Atiku Abubakar's camp and Peter Obi's camp, and what their fate will be in terms of who will be the presidential flag bearer. And the old leadership of ADC trying to unseat the new leaders, led by former Senate President David Mark with a legal challenge. Have the party been destabilized by these uncertainties? That is what we're talking about today. And join me to help analyze this is Tunde Kolawole, a legal practitioner and current affairs analyst. Barrister Kolawole. Hello, sir.
Hello, I'm hearing you, my brother. Okay. Good afternoon to all the good people listening to us this afternoon.
Thank you for joining us. Now, ADC is back on the news after weeks of which looks like they've been quiet, and the big question is the ADC losing its momentum? You know, with the first few weeks and months when it was inaugurated, they were losing. They dominated national and political discourse. Everybody was talking about them, including even APC and PDP leadership and members. They were talking about them more than they were talking about their political parties. There was solidarities, there were support for the coalition as much as there were mudslingings, and they were everywhere. But the past few weeks, of course, apart from the meeting, the closed-door meeting that happened yesterday, it looks like the momentum is dying. It looks like they've been quiet. But before we talk about that, let's talk about the meeting that happened yesterday, the closed-door meeting, where all the big wigs in the coalition were parts of the meeting, of course, apart from Peter Obi, who was absent in the meeting. And then three major talking points.
Hello, I'm hearing you.
Okay. And the three major talking points was dominated the meeting. First, we're going to analyze the three major talking points. Of course, the first, all presidential aspirants agreed to back whoever emerges as the party's candidate for the primaries. The second is members were directed to resign their membership in other political parties and fully commit to the ADC. And then third, the National Working Committee will announce date for primaries in Osun and Ekiti ahead of the off-cycle governorship election. Let's analyze the talking points one after the other. The first, all political aspirants agreed to back whoever emerges as the party's candidate for the primaries. Is this possible, considering they all have their aspirations? We know the three persons that have come out to declare their intentions to emerge as the flag bearer is the former transport minister Rotimi Amechi, former Anambra State governor and former presidential aspirant on the Labour Party Peter Obi, and of course former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. Three of them have all come out to declare their intention to be the party's flag bearer. And of course, normally one would think Peter Obi and Atiku Abubakar will be the two major elephants to clinch that position, and they are both very, very ambitious. So do you think this is visible? All presidential aspirants agreeing to back whoever emerges as the party candidate after the primaries?
Well, it is not impossible that all of them will have one person should be the presidential flag bearer, and then the other ones supporting whoever emerges. But a lot of issues will be fundamental to the acceptance. One, if the election is not clear and fair, the possibilities are that whoever may have entered into this kind of agreement we want to renege on it. Secondly, there is also the divisive element of their own political opponents who might want to sow seed of chaos within that coalition so as to frustrate any unanimity, that is unity among them. Secondly, the antecedent of the average Nigerian politician also doesn't make one comfortable that they would accept and agree to fly with whoever secures the ticket. And more importantly, too, especially when you look at what happened between Chief Bola Ige and Chief Olufalaye when they went to Ibadan to do the primary as regards who would fly the flag of the party in 1999 or thereabouts. A lot of people had thought that Chief Bola Ige would get the ticket. For those who went for that election at the D. Robans Hotel in Ibadan, they felt Olufalaye would be more marketable, and rather than vote for Chief Bola Ige, they voted for Olufalaye. The outcome of that decision polarized Alliance for Democracy and equally undermined or affected in a way their success at the poll. And you also realize the trajectory of what happened. Eventually, we are not making any insinuations. Chief Bola Ige lost his life at the end of the day. So a lot of variables
of course, the same can be said for the last presidential election in PDP, where Atiku
exactly,
and it has destroyed the party.
The PDP, which has become an elephant in the China ware shop, kicking, fretting, and then destroying everything about the PDP that you might find inside. So it is not impossible they will behave like gentlemen, because agreements are supposed to be respected, abided, and honored by people who are gentlemen. But the question you might want to ask yourself is, the average Nigerian person, did they abide by agreement? Like most of them will tell you, like Dr. Zeno do not have told recently, and when you hold a meeting or talk with them in the morning, by afternoon it's a different thing they are saying. By the time you meet them at night, they are also talking a different thing. So the political terrain is very, very slippery.
Now let's stay with that agreement. One would have expected, when the coalition come together like this, there would have been a pre-agreement before the persons involved decide to come together. One would have expected that. One would have expected that if someone like Atiku decide to join the coalition, there should be an agreement that he has that was reached. Is he going to be the president of presidential flag bearer, or is he going to be a party chieftain, to be like a kingmaker, just like Tinubu did when he brought the different political parties that formed the APC, where he was the one that brought and sold Muhammadu Buhari until he became the president. What kind of agreement? Because I find it difficult to believe that these people will come into a coalition and then just leave it to chance. One would have exactly.
You are now talking like you are envisaging a kind of prenuptial agreement.
Exactly.
Which husband and wife, which husband and wife, always propose. Husband and wife will always enter before they consummate the marriage. And all that.
Because this would expect that this was what happened with APC. Before APC came together, they would have agreed that, hey, Buhari, you are going to be the flag bearer, and then Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you're going to be the poster boy, the poster man of the party. You're going to sell us Buhari, and after 4 years, you will come in. You know those kind of agreements. So one would have expected that the same kind of agreement would have happened in the coalition. I don't want to believe Peter Obi would want to leave all the power and all the glory he has in Labour Party, even despite the fact that Labour Party is in disarray, only to come to an ADC to leave it to chance and possibly become a vice president to Atiku. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying here.
I do. But you see, they have gone into that kind of what I would describe both a prenuptial agreement, because this is a marriage, whether of convenience or inconvenience.
Exactly.
It would have been difficult for them to come together.
Exactly.
It would have been extremely difficult because their personal ambitions would have been truncated, ab initio from the beginning, which most of them would never want to do. So, and then they may also have to see that that would have shut out the room for negotiation when they eventually come together, because politics is all about negotiation, and no good politician want to shut the door against negotiation. But when you look at the mindset of the average Nigerian politicians, they don't apply their trade that way. Look at even the APC, the primaries that brought in the present president. So many of them went into the field and all that, and nobody shut out one another. The reason they do that is because they know if you say you are going to be a presidential candidate, if you say you are going to be a governor, if you say you are going to be a local government chairman, then you would have had some money which you want to spend. And the party will want you to spend that money to do mobilization, to allow people to mobilize, to get people, to get interested in voting for the party and what have you, and all that. So, because they will believe that not a single person of the party alone cannot do. So they leave the door open and allow everybody to go out in there, test their strengths and weaknesses and all that. In fact, it is from the field that each person will begin to understand what his weaknesses and strengths are, whether it's necessary for him to go ahead with the primary.
From the outside, it will look like they're leaving the door open. But I mean, you and I know behind the scene, there is a queue, there is a timetable. You come in after 2 years or after 4 years, I come in.
Yes. The truth of the matter is that if you want to have a solid, cohesive party, a party that's going to be a fighting machine that might be able to confront the incumbent, the party that is in power today, you need to be cohesive. You don't have to encourage any distractions from the field. But if you do that, you might not be having the strength to really confront the party in power. So I suspect that might be the reason they have left some of this open until the chiefs are done. Like I said, when they all go into the primaries or they begin to campaign and all that, the grain will now begin to shift from the chaff, because if you have thrown yourself into the field and you now find that you don't have enough supporters and warriors, then the party can now streamline maybe to 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 parties to really contest the primaries, and then when the primaries will become a little bit more manageable when they approach the primaries that way. So, for reasons of unity, for reasons of getting resources to mobilize the voters or party members and all that, the prenuptial agreement may not be advisable in the initial stages. For the personal ambitions of these individuals and what are they, it is their strength in the open field, in the campaigns, among the party members, the rank and file of the party members, that will eventually at the end of the day determine who gets the plan. And of course, you and I know that Nigerian elections, whether the general elections or the primary elections, is a papa. It goes to the highest Peter. It goes to the highest Peter. So whoever has the money to throw around, mostly now they do it in dollars, pounds, sterling, and euro. We might be the one that will eventually get the flag. And of course, we should not shut our minds to issues like religion and tribes and whatever. And all those things are factors that comes into play in the Nigerian political arena.
And talking about the money politics we play in Nigeria. Now, you also talk about tribe. I'm still talking about the pre-agreement before the coalition. And when you notice that, I mean, talking about the APC, we know that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will come in if he's had a lot of support, and when you also consider he's from the south west to be precise, and the PDP of as scattered as they are at the moment, they've zoned their presidential party flag bearer to the south. We don't know where it will be micro-zoned, whether it will be in the southwest or the southeast, but the point is they've been zoned to the south. And then you have the ADC, where we're not sure where it will be zoned. If it's going to be zoned in the south, then Peter B will have a better chance. But if it's thrown open, we know that it's been alleged that it's an Atiku coalition, which means Atiku Abubakar will most likely get the presidential ticket and is in the north. Don't you think that would also come into play in scattering that first aspect of the agreement in the meeting?
There are points in some of the issues that you have raised. Absolutely, there's no doubt about that and what have you. But we must be very careful about emphasizing the ambitions of individual candidate or the character in the ADC as it is today. I suspect very, very strongly that experience, resources in terms of finances and what have you, and geopolitical strategy would determine a lot as to who eventually gets the flag of the ADC as a political party.
Yeah. So if you look at that, I mean, when it comes to experience, when it comes to financial resources, we know that Atiku Abubakar will definitely have the bigger say here. But when it comes to geopolitical point, that's where it becomes dicey, because I mean, a large percentage of the country will want it to continue with the south, and Atiku is from the north, and from information we get, Atiku Abubakar don't exactly have a huge northern support that we may be led to believe. That's where it becomes dicey.
Just as Atiku Abubakar may have problems in the north, I should think that Peter Obi also have problems in the south. Why do I say this? You have the sitting president, National Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is from the southwest, and what have you, and also made significant inroads into the south and what have you. The average Nigerian person and the average Nigerian voters, in my humble opinion, might not want to risk going for Obi or going for Goodluck Jonathan when they have a sitting president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who has all the resources and the means to continue to retain power at the expense of the north. Here is the de facto governor of Central Bank, the governor, he is the de facto chairman of Revenue Mobilization Commission. He is the commander-in-chief of all the different security forces.
In other words, the power of incumbency.
So that may give Atiku Abubakar an opportunity in the north, and Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu an advantage in the south. Like I said earlier on, if the final get is anything to go by, the southwest may vote even more for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu in this coming election than they did for him in the 2023 election, because our people have a saying which I keep on repeating, and it is this, that many occasions is better. How I not feel like a CDLO. That is to say, you will not say because your child has a fat bonbon, then you now take the beat and use it to decorate the boot of another person's daughter. And the Yoruba people also say that Baba Fuwe Iloko, I am not insinuating that anybody's that when you give a madman a hole, the madman will also hold to his own side. The Yoruba will not want to take a risk of waiting for some other donkey years before the presidency returns when they already have a bed in hand in Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So it is Obi in a way that is the disadvantage in all of these issues. It is Obi that is the advantage.
Now,
and if Dr. Goodluck Jonathan also steps into the ring, I think they might mess him up.
It might further divide vote from the south.
Exactly.
Now, let's take a look at the second major talking point, where members were directed to resign their membership in other political parties and fully commit to ADC. Now, for example, Peter Obi has not left the Labour Party and as a member of the coalition. Atiku Abubakar have left the People's Democratic Party, but he has not officially joined the ADC as a party. Do you think this is visible?
Well, that ought not to be. In fact, if that's not taking is sufficient to disqualify them from carrying the flag of the parties. Because the law forbids that you should be a member of two political parties at the same time, and then be the flag bearer of a party that you have not fully committed yourself to in terms of membership, in terms of financial commitment, another paradigm that the law expects you to have subscribed to. But you see, this one leg out. Let me finish this. Let me know this.
Okay.
This one leg out is also another strategy by the average Nigerian politician, so that if at the end of the day they don't get the flag or what they want in the ADC, they leave the door open in some of these other political people will leave the door open in Labour Party. Atiku may also leave the door open in another political party, and then of course you have the other player will also leave the door open. They will just immediately return to their political party and then seek the flag of those parties. Look at what happened during the last general election. There were people who contested the presidential primary with Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, where they have also obtained the senatorial forms in the same party, even some other parties and what happened. Immediately lost the presidential primary in the APC and others. They quickly drafted the form for their senatorial system and then used the Nigerian abracadabra. You know, there's a lot of magic. 2 plus 2 in Nigerian politics is never 4. Even though they didn't contest primarily to become senators or House of Rep members, they still succeeded in wandering their way into some of these political offices and all that. So that is why you have this one leg in, one leg out that is common with the average Nigerian politician. Anything is playable in Nigeria once you have the resources.
I've heard some constitutional lawyers that say it is a coalition, so there mustn't be officially members of the party for them to be in a coalition and probably run for the political party.
I disagree with that interpretation of the law. I disagree with that interpretation of the law. Why do I say so? You are required. Do you know? If you didn't vote in an election and then you are the candidate, your elections can be nullified. And then be a member of a political party is not just a name. You must be a financial member, you must be a card-carrying member, and then you also must have contributed one way or the other to the success of the party at the polls and what happens. If it is possible for people to say, because it's a mere coalition, I can be in my own party and still be struggling for the tickets of this other party somewhere and all that, then they will not be parties. Why do we talk about principles? We say the average Nigerian politician doesn't have principles, that they see politics or the political party as mere vehicles for the realization of their ambitions and what have you. That is not the expectations of the law. The elections can be nullified if it is found at the end of the day that you are not a regular in quote, a financial member, a committed member, or a card-carrying member of a particular political party under which contested election. Invariably, you have managed to change those who are committed, who are financial members, and who have worked for the success of the party as a poll. Also remember that our court has said in Nigeria that whatever votes a candidate gets or a party gets, the vote belongs to the party, you know, and not to the individual. So if you are not a member of a party, how can you now take the vote of the party. At the end of the day, the party wins at the election. If you are not a member, it could be a good plan to nullify the election of any aspirant who contested an election.
But I mean, as you've rightly mentioned, in Nigerian politics is a lot of abracadabra. That's why you see someone being voted into a political party and then.
But you may not always be lucky. You may not always be lucky like the Senate president of our party. You may not always be lucky.
And
I think a professor is in jail now because of his election into the Senate. I think a professor is
and this is exactly why we need a constitutional review where some of this ambiguity have to be taken out.
My brother. Every time I am a lawyer and I'm supposed to be a man of law, a man who has respect for law. From my experience over the years as a journalist and then as a lawyer, I want to say this categorically and know that the challenges Nigeria is having is not about the Constitution. Not at all. How many pages is the American Constitution? How many pages? And then look at the.
But even then, they keep reviewing the Constitution and they keep making amendments to it.
At the end of the day, it becomes an encyclopedia that it becomes so unwieldy, so difficult to interpret and then to enforce and then implement. Look, it is our attitude, our behavior, our commitment, and then demonetization of politics. Until we make politics less juicy, in which politics doesn't become an avenue to make money or where we can easily make money, we continue to have some of the challenges that we have now. I say the size is that number, most of them are not happy with it. If, for example, you are paid for the salary of civil servants and all that, how many of them will you find contesting those elections and what have you? Pay the senators the salary of a permanent secretary or a little above it. Pay them the salaries of director and the minister and all that. And then maybe the governor, he earns a little more than that, and then the president, go and compare the salaries of the president, the senate president, the governor, and all that between 1979 and 1983, and even the Second Republic. The salaries of politicians who held political office in those days was just a little better than what the civil servants were earning in those days. In fact, most of them at the end of the day, by the time they came out of policy, they were poorer than when they went in there. Go to the First Republic. Compare the salaries that politicians were earning those in the First Republic and what the civil servants were earning. The governor of Central Bank and other was better than politicians in those days.
But we both know it's not just about the salary. It is mainly about the the largesse that comes with it, the allowances. I mean, these allowances comes in because if you're talking about the salary, I mean, the president to receive 1.5 million, which is there are lots of ordinary Nigerians that earn higher than that. So it's not really about the salary; it's about the commissions, the allowances. I mean, check out the wardrobe allowances, the chair allowances, and plenty allowances that the president and the senators and the House of Reps get every month. And then
I will just reply you with what happened recently. Donald Trump visited Britain, and then to impress him, the British people said we're organizing a very sumptuous, lavish dinner. I didn't know how much the dinner cost per plate, even where the King of England was there. Just €1,000 per plate. When you compare that to what the average Nigerian politician uses for entertainment when they are having their games and what have you, even when they are having some of these committee meetings and all that, it is not more than one. Even the allowances we are talking about is guided by certain, there are rules and regulations. The allowances that the average politician must get and all that. They are responsible for what we call traveling allowance, hotel allowance, and what have you. If they keep within the rules, allowances and all that, they wouldn't be talking about the kind of activities that they are talking about. When it takes maybe about 5 million naira per annum as a newspaper allowance and what have you. So that makes sense. You and I consider how many titles is entitled to a day, how much are those titles sold in the market. If the paper is 500 naira per copy, and then the man is entitled to maybe 5 different newspapers. You can calculate all of that. Will it be up to about 5 million or 10 million, whatever they take now? So they are not keeping within the allowances in terms of the like you are talking about. If they keep within the rules and all that, I am sure not many people within the arena of politics. Whoever wants to make money should go into business, not politics.
But be it as it's me, whether we like it or not, there's still a bracatapra going on in Nigerian politics, and because of that, you have a lot of politicians that will still remain in the political party while in the coalition, and with little or no consequences, which means because they wouldn't want to put all their eggs in one basket, these second talking points may be very difficult for them to keep.
Well, if they contest elections with that kind of mindset, they'll be taking a lot of risk. And the average Nigerian politician, in order to get you to fulfill your mandate, will do just anything, will dig everything about you. The schools you attended, the business you have been doing, the girlfriend that you have kept, the hotels that you patronize, and then the club will go into and war at you when they have lost election, which you have won and all that. So a good politician will not take that kind of very unnecessary risk of being member of two political parties at the same time and getting into election. If he didn't contest an election, maybe he might be able to get away with it.
And then the third talking point is the National Working Committee will announce date for primaries in Osun and Ekiti ahead of off-cycle governorship election. Now, this is one aspect I've had to argue with certain political analysts and even contributors of this station and on my show, where a lot of ADC supporters, vis-a-vis a lot of Peter Obi supporters, have been adamant that all they have to focus their energy on is the presidential election and nothing more. And then I've had to say it once or twice that we can't underestimate the importance of governorship elections, off-cycle elections, local government elections, council board elections. We can't underestimate the importance of that, because the president can't do it alone. Grassroots support is also necessary for the person in question to even become the president in the first place. By the time you have all the local government chairmen, the governors and ward chairmen, all from PDP and APC, how do this coalition, how does Peter Obi, how does Atiku have grassroots support for them to now become the president? That will be very, very difficult. I don't know if you agree with me there.
I do. That would be not just difficult, but very naive. It's very, very naive. I gave one example not too long ago during this discussion. That most times the different political party would ask whoever is interested in any post to go into the field, campaign, and contest the primary. They use it as a tool for grassroots mobilization. So if you are not feasible at the local government level, at the ward level, at the state level, and you say you just want to concentrate your efforts on the presidency and all that, who is going to campaign for you? Who is going to mobilize for you? Who is going to vote for you when you are now contesting or when you contest?
And who is going to monitor to make sure there is?
And who is going to monitor? In fact, part of the problem the obedient people now, the Labour Party had during the last election, that they never had representative agents in most of the polling booths around the country. They never had. So the other political parties who have their agents in there and all that could do whatever they like in terms of vote buying, in terms of coercion, in terms of people carrying certain people away from the polling booth so that they could get more votes and then ballot snatching. And then even to select give that you eventually win the elections and all that without having a tentacle at the local government level, at the state level and all that. How are you going to manage the country? How are you going to govern when the Senate is dominated by some other political party, the governorship belongs to some other political party, the senators from other political parties, and what have you? We had that challenge in the Second Republic. Alhaji Balarabe Musa one as governor of Kaduna State. But there were more MPs, National Party of Nigeria, in the Kaduna State Assembly. And they said, look, we are the one in charge and we are going to be the one dictating to you what you do as a governor. And Alhaji Balarabe Gorimah said, no, I'm being a stubborn person. Whatever request they make or whatever he thinks not according to his conscience or which his party didn't commit himself to before the contest before he won the election, he will not do it. And what they simply did was to impeach him. They impeached him. There were noises here and there were all manners of insinuations and whatever. But he lost the governorship at the end of the day. So it is the height of political naivety for anybody to think he could just win the presidency without having the tentacles at the grassroots.
Now, to the main talking point, is ADC losing its momentum? I'm wondering out loud because, I mean...
ADC?
ADC, yes. I mean, because I mean, the first few weeks and months the coalition happened, they were all over the place. I mean, they dominated national and political discourse. You know, APC members and PDP members and leadership were granting all manner of interviews. There were lots of accusations and counter accusations. There were a lot of mudslingings, just as much as there were solidarities and support for the coalition. And then all these things started unraveling. Who is going to be the presidential flag bearer? Is Peter Obi? Is Atiku Abubakar? And then the coalition was tagged an Atiku coalition. And then you have obedient members splitting into two. We have one part of obedient member that says we don't care if Atiku becomes the president. As far as Peter Obi is in the ticket, it's okay by them. I mean, Peter Obi could need to may as well start from somewhere. If Atiku becomes the presidential flag bearer on the presidency and then later becomes the president, and they are fine with that. And you have the other half of the obedient movement that says, hey, it has to be Peter Obi or nothing. And then their fears is it's going to be a repeat of the Buhari Oshibajo situation, where Oshibajo has been soiled by association to will now lose his marketability when it comes to becoming the president of Nigeria by association to Peter Obi, by association to Atiku Abubakar, if Atiku Abubakar's presidency becomes a shamble and all that. And then we also have the legal challenge that is going on between the old leadership of the ADC led by former Senate President David Mark, and all this infighting, you know, and perceived infighting that is going on. It looks like it started destabilizing the ADC, and for a while it looks like they've been quiet, obviously, apart from the meeting that happened yesterday. Do you think the ADC is gradually losing the momentum it started with when it first came to the forefront and front burner?
Well, as to their quietness, it's difficult for us to interpret their minds or know why they have appeared to be silent of recent, except maybe we deploy artificial intelligence algorithm. That's the only way we can decode what is their mind. But we can have some guesses. I suspect that as a matter of strategy, they may have realized that when you talk too much, your opponents will know the direction in which you are going, and then be able to anticipate and prepare for you, and then maybe preempt whatever action that you might want to take. Ever since they started becoming rancorous,
you can't exactly underestimate the buzz. I mean, the buzzing of Peter Obi, you know, whether he eventually became the leader or not, that momentum, that buzzing was, you know, took him to the 2023 general election. I mean, at the end of the day, he came third, yes, but I mean, it's that buzzing that still, it has hooked lots of Nigerians. Going quiet is not, I mean, I'm talking as a journalist here, where we know the importance of popularity. You know, whether that happens and wrongly or rightly.
Well, I'm sorry to say, a lot of talk about this obedient movement and what have you. Well, if I look around the great deal, part of the reason to find me, I go in public transport, go to some of these places that big people like you will not go. That is where I get the raw materials or some of the information that we use for some of this program. For me, the obedient movement is not as cohesive, it's not as powerful as solid as it was in the last general election. They who appear to me to be on paper now. I remember I also said that the momentum that threw up the obedient movement was the uprising against the Nigerian police and then the Nigerian state in 2017 and 2020. And that momentum is gone. Most of the brilliant young people who organize that events and what have you have fled abroad because of persecution and then because of threat of the cost, from law enforcement agents and what have you. And then two, we are dealing with a more experienced politician now in Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Like I said, let's give it to him. He's a more experienced politician than some of these, than General Buhari, for example.
And he will not want a surprise, a repeat of the surprise. I mean, Peter Obi,
exactly.
Peter Obi won in Lagos of all places.
That will not happen. I don't think that will happen again. And you remember after Peter Obi won, the APC went to the drawing board, and then they came back strongly, and then now cleared the governorship and some of the other elective offices that were fought for at that period in time. Recollect that even before Amuwo Otofin, also the Solo and what have you, and some of these other places and all that, the APC was 100% in those places and what have you. But after that presidential election in 2023, they stressed most of those places that to find that people who are not of Yoruba extraction, who used to have seats in the Lagos Assembly and then the National Assembly, House of Rep and all that, appear not to have secured them this time around. So, if you are dealing with an articulate politicians like the president and what have you, the surprises that the obedient movement threw up during the last general election in 2010 with regard to the presidency and all that, I am not too sure they will allow that to happen again. And what have you. That is not to say that they cannot do well in Lagos or some of these other European lands, but winning outrightly might be a very difficult and Herculean task.
I mean,
this time around.
I mean, but the fact that Nigerians are suffering with the economy and the security should be motivation enough, don't you think so?
Maybe suffering is an index. If our people vote based on the suffering that they go through and what have you, I am sure that President Buhari wouldn't have won a second term that he won and what have you. He was mostly sick during that period and what have you. And then his government, his presidency was not as articulate as the average Nigerian person who had sacrificed and voted for him had expected and what have you. And then the suffering that we are talking about now didn't begin in 2023. It has started right from the time that Buhari was presidency and what have you. So, like I said, our people take into cognizance a lot of factors when it comes to this. And then there is also a kind of trust deficit between the electorate and then the average Nigerian voter. Most Nigerian voters don't see any difference between all these parties, whether they be in PDP, APC, or Labour Party and what have you. So they would rather vote for somebody who bought their vote than wait for expectations that when somebody gets into power, like their life will improve, because it has never improved over time and over the years. Remember, we got into this democracy in 1999. that is over 20, almost 30 years and all that. In what way has the rule of the PDP, the rule of APC, and then some of these other fringe parties made a difference in the lives of our people? And today it is NNPC that is ruling in Kano and what have you. I think the Labour Party is ruling in Abia State and what have you.
Yes.
And then you have in the South PDP and some of the.
You also have Abga and
Abga. In what way is the performance of those different political parties that I mentioned different from that of the APC and what have you? So this is what the average Nigerian voter will look at and say, no, a bird in hand is better than a million that will assume will come when the voting has been concluded and somebody has won the election. They will rather sell their vote and start waiting for
and collect their 5,000 naira.
And collect their 5,000 naira. Now start waiting for somebody who is promising them that there is a paradise somewhere in which they will go after they might have died.
Okay, Barrister Kolawole, unfortunately we have to let you go. My contributors are itching to make their contributions already. So getting their messages. It's always a pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, my brother. Thanks for having me. You have a great day. Thank you.
That was Tunde Kolawole, a legal practitioner and current affairs analyst. Okay, unfortunately, we have 20 more minutes for you to make your contributions. The number to call 0700 903 903 903. Again, 0700 903 903 903. Or 0803 692 9933. 0803 692 9933. You can also call or text us via WhatsApp 081 717 56338. Again, 081 717 56338. Our first caller. Hello, welcome to VOP. Tell us the name where you're calling from, please. Hello.
Hello, this is Wale calling from Iowa.
Okay, go ahead. Talk to us.
Yeah, your guest have really spoken well. I really enjoyed the interview you made with him. Okay. I'm sure that they are really spoken well. And for the opposition, they are not doing as
you're going to have to call us back. We can't hear you. Please call us back, please. Oh, sorry about that. Hello, welcome to VOP.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Soul.
Tell us where you're calling from. Good afternoon.
Hey, Joffo, calling from Isola Kingdom.
Okay, Joffo, go ahead.
I see the coalition. I think they might be in confusion. You're right, in the sense that everybody there wants to be a president. That's the only problem they have. And if they want a credible election and they want ADC to move forward, let them choose somebody that Nigeria needs. What about all this old wine in new bottles? We are tired of all these people. We're tired of articles. I think we want a vice president of this country. And God has said that this is where you will stop and put it to stop there. We are fighting. He returns PDP out of his personal greediness. He wants to destroy the party again. He wants to be president. I'm seeing APC winning 2027. Not because people wanted to win, but because of the inability of the ADC to choose the credible candidate. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Zero 0803 6922 sorry 003 69299933. Hello, welcome to VOP.
Hello, good afternoon. This is Alagaba from the guy.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
You see the issue of 2027 you're talking about, people will be because of Nigeria has suffered. And your guest today making the one comment that are very sensitive. We have been coming far from 1999 to this time. When when he was a president, did my village have rights? And did they have a dividend of democracy? No. The question is no. When the APC was in power, did they have anything to give me more than that? No. Is it when Peter Obi was the governor of Anambra State, did he eradicate erosion in the whole Anambra State? The capital is no. The only thing that all of us do not understand is that let me understand the basic and the principle of the government and the effort that we will bring into it. As I say one word, don't think that you get anything from America, but think what we bring to America. All the citizens, let all the citizens think what they will bring to Nigeria and have a positive toward the progression of the nation. That is really my contribution this afternoon.
Okay, thank you very much. Hello, welcome to VOP.
Hello.
Welcome to
Good
VOP.
afternoon.
Good afternoon.
King Solomon Ofen, the wise one.
Thank you. Tell us the name where you're calling from, please.
Thank God it is Friday and happy weekend in advance.
Indeed, same to you.
My name is Peter Unsifo. I'm calling from Abaranja in Ikoton.
Okay, Peter, can you move away from the radio TV set? We're getting the whole back. Move away from the radio TV set, please. Or switch it off totally.
Hello?
Okay, we can hear you clearly now. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. I listened to your guest with rapt attention, and actually he spoke very well. Kudos to him. As for ADC, hello?
Go ahead, we can hear you.
Yeah, as for ADC, that is African Democratic Congress, I don't think they have anything to do in 2027 unless it is probably political placeholder for another party to come. Maybe there are about 14 new probably parties that are yet to be registered by INEC. And maybe one of them will be some of them will be registered and ADA, maybe one of them, and this party may be the placeholder of such party, that is ADC. But the only way for ADC, even if it is going to go into as opposition party in 2027, the only way they can make it is for them to present somebody like Peter Obi. That is for somebody like Atiku to say, okay, he is going to support P2B in all ramifications. Not that he's only going to step down and maybe allow P2B to go there, and be the presidential candidate. No, but to make sure that he brings out his money and support him very well and make other Northerners to support him. Just as Bola Ahmed Tinubu did in 2023. Or, in 2014, when he brought out late Muhammad Buhari and made sure that he brought him out in 2015 against the ruling party, as Jonathan. And make sure he brought out his money to support him wholeheartedly. So if Atiku can do that with all his heart and become a godfather to P2B, it will work well. But the way I'm saying it, P2B cannot be the vice presidential candidate to Atiku. The way I'm saying it, because it's full of talk, I said it, and it is true. Maybe Atiku may finally take somebody like Rotimi Amici to be his own presidential candidate. Why P2B may run under another party, probably a virgin party, if not Labour Party. Because even Labour Party, if he runs in Labour Party is highly in disarray.
Okay, you have to round up now, please. So
in conclusion, okay. I think ADC has no chance in 2027. In fact, there's no vacancy in Aso Rock in 2027. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, let me read some messages before I go back to picking some calls. Good afternoon, VOP matters arising. For now, PDP are just jokers because their engine room is working for Tinubu and APC. So PDP is playing joker's card for now. OZ from Orishumbari Shasha. Good afternoon, Solomon and Barrister Tunde Kolawole. Solomon Asika from Mushi. Indirectly, Barrister Kolawole is marketing his own with his two Yoruba proverbs. The first one is not because your baby is fat than the ankle, then the ankles that meant for your baby, use it to adorn another people's baby. Second proverb is not because your brother is a madman that then you use what is meant for him to give to another person. So indirectly, Barrister Kolawole is marketing and supporting his own brother, President Ahmed Bola Tinubu. Whether good or bad, he will support his own. I mean, he's not talking about him. He's talking about how Nigerians think mentally. I mean, something we've been talking about. Tribe, religion has been something that's been destroying this country. That's what Barrister Kolawole is talking about, not him personally. I mean, let's be frank, that's what happens in Nigeria, okay? If not, we won't be in the situation we are right now. Good afternoon, Solomon Ofem. Among the front runner, Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi stands out. However, Peter Obi appears to have an edge due to his focus, visibility, and perceived selflessness. If Obi chooses the right political party, he might have a strong chance of defeating the incumbent. His next step should be crucial in determining the outcome. Atiku Abubakar's presidential ambitions are questioned by some due to his age and past inexperiences. Supporting Peter Obi might strengthen the opposition. Also, Nasir El-Rufai's loyalty to Atiku is doubted, and some predict he will disappoint him. Peter Obi should consider another standing alone. Some politicians' self-interest might lead them to prioritize their goals over genuine support for others. Some believe Peter Obi has the potential to lead effectively, but he needs to demonstrate commitment and passion. If not, President Tinubu might continue. Mr. Ogumbiyi from Idimo. Good afternoon, VOP. Good afternoon, Solomon and Nigerians. My advice to the ADC is for them to give Peter Obi the ADC presidential ticket in 2027 to do first tenure being 4 years, to complete 8 years for South. Then the next presidential ambition in 2031, Atiku should be given with the presidential ticket to do two tenures for 8 years for the North. Peter Obi doesn't need experience from anyone. He is a true leader and experienced. This is my own submission. Osmond from Apapa. Lanre PJ Michigan. What experience does Ashiwadu have? Your analyst is a comedian. He's still living in the past. 2027 will be a shocker to them all. Lanre PJ Michigan. Good afternoon, Solomon. ADC was built around Atiku. Peter Obi is a lazy politician who always ready to jump to ready-made opportunities without ready to sacrifice anything or create one. People's called it stingy, but laziness. What stops him to build Abga from home and build it around him to make it a formidable opposition like ACN of those days before they joined APC? An ambitious man does not have party. It is a shame. Emmanuel. INEC is never independent, a situation where one's vote does not count. Voters are frustrated. Vinicius Uchena from Ojo. Good afternoon, crew. When the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse or misuse is inevitable. The act of imposition of candidates on Nigerians make them not accountable to the people, but their godfather, not even the party. Case study: Lagos, Edo, Kogi, Rivers, etc. That is why there is no development and Nigeria is backward. Because money generated by tax or borrowed is being given to Godfather. Look at the governors, they are like puppets, just like Fubara on that weekend. This is Lekon from Lagos. Okay, let's see if we can pick a call from WhatsApp. Hello. Oh, looks like we can't do that. Can you please switch your radio TV set, please? We're getting a call back.
Yeah. I have checked it.
Okay. Welcome to VOP. Tell us the name where you're calling from, please.
My name is Obina, calling from.
Okay, Obina, go ahead.
Yes.
ADC say nobody should stay on the fence, that everybody should come in to register. Yes, that is very good idea. I love it.
Okay.
Then what I want to say is let Atiku support Peter Obi, because Peter Obi is going there to make difference. He's not going there to answer president. Atiku is going there to answer president. And every Nigeria, including you, know the best candidate in Nigeria as of today. Let Atiku support Obi. Then let the election balance. Because if Atiku is the presidential candidate, Obi may agree to be the vice, but Tinubu will still grab it again.
Okay.
If Obi is the presidential candidate, the election will be very, very fantastic and it will be interesting.
Okay.
Now, coming to the constitution amendment or whatever, nothing is wrong with our constitution. What is wrong with Nigeria constitution is the interpretation. If the constitution we have is okay, the interpretation is wrong.
So you don't think our INEC and our electoral system needs restructuring?
If there is a good interpretation in the constitution, INEC, all the whole English they speak glitch or no glitch, that one will not be, they can't come up. And another thing is the INEC itself is our problem in this country.
It's part of the constitutional reforms we're talking about.
Yeah, it's okay. Okay,
but
thank you. But INEC is the problem too. I know. Even though Nigerians, we are very critical. Even though they reform the constitution, the INEC will find another way to interpret it.
Look, when there are lots of ambiguity with our constitution, with the way it is now, then there will be a million and one interpretation. But when it is reformed with certainty, then there won't be room for maneuvering. Maneuvering is easy and simple now because of the too many ambiguity we have.
But do you think the man in Abuja can agree the reform?
Well, that is not the point. The point is we need a reform, whether he agrees or not. That is the point. At least we must first of all come to an agreement where we all agree that the constitution needs reform. We need to start with our own self. Do we even agree that this constitution needs reform? That is where it will start from.
Not today we are clamoring for it. We are all agreed to reform the constitution.
Okay, thank you. We have to give chance for others to talk. Thank you very much.
Okay,
hello, welcome to VOP. Hello, welcome to VOP.
Hello?
Welcome to VOP. Tell us the name where you're calling from, please.
This is Pastor Dr. Harris.
Okay. Calling from...
what I just want to say, I'm coming from Badagry.
Okay.
What I just want to say is that everybody say this. The problem we have is very safety Nigerians, because we don't hire or buy people from the moon or from other countries. Those who are our leader are the same Nigerian. And then when we have orientation, change of our mindset of what we are and having Nigeria before us, as America will say, don't say what America will give you, but say what you will give America. What are these people who are grammar? Like Atiku has been fighting. It's enough for him. He's supposed to sit down and watch how long will he going to live on earth. So he's supposed to sit and watch what will become before his departure from planet Earth. But everybody is want to amass wealth that he will die and live one day. So let's look for who has the people at heart and not this APC, PPC. Nothing is wrong with the political party, but something is wrong with the orientation of the individual that form and runs the party. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, please. Let us leave all the sentiments of supporting or not supporting. Let Peter Obi join Atiku. Hello, welcome to VOP.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Tell us the name where you're calling from, please.
Yeah, I'm calling from Lagos here.
Your name,
Actually,
please.
My name is Divine.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't know why people are just shouting to at people. Is that our people used to put a saying that the dream, where dog dream, stay for him belly. Peter Obi is keeping quiet does not mean that he doesn't know what he's doing. Atiku himself, both of them, they know themselves. All of them that did this coalition, are they not of the same party? Atiku is from PDP. Obi is from PDP. Before he became to APCA. All of them, they are all PDP people. Even if they separate today to different places. Why are people just only lamenting on Obi alone? What we need to do in this country is to pray for God to help us. We need to pray with the names. If you wish this man or this man, we should stop tribalism that is an Igbo man, Hausa man, Yoruba. Yoruba Hausa is not the only tribe or Igbo in this country. We still have other people of the Middle Belt. We should pray, come together and be one, so that God can give us a Messiah. If it is Yoruba, we pray, let God put him there.
Okay.
If it is another person, let God put him there.
Thank you. Thank you very much. A good day, Big Solo. If it's Sifo's brain has been formatted, Sheikot from Atire. It's like Sifo's brain has been formatted, rather, Sheikot from Atire. Thank you very much, Sheikot. Hello, welcome to VOP.
Hello, Mr. Solo.
Yes, so good afternoon. Tell us the name where you're calling from.
I'm Edward calling from Sango.
Okay, Edward, go ahead.
Adibi, I guess, is still available. I wanted to ask him something, like 2 or 3 questions, because you see, there's many things we have to get right in this country. Number one is that this performance, because I know that APC doesn't want ADC to operate, even many other parties, to belong as if we have a one-party system. We don't have one-party system. There's no good performance from the president, and the people are not too realistic. They cannot look at his best and tell him that Baba is not dying. More especially insecurity in Nigeria, where we are losing lives and properties. And the average Nigerians now want to vote APC out. What they are waiting for is the pronunciation of Obi, which he said he want to do on November. So Obi have gotten a wider people follow him. Whether Atiku wanted to, whether Atiku did not want it to, what many Nigerians are waiting for now is that let them see the party Obi want to merge with. And the area Nigeria want to focus more is to work on the electoral reforms and make it a law. Okay. And let our voting started to count from each. We have 774 local governments. Let our voting started to count from polling zone. Okay. Once our
we have to go. We have to go. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you. Hello, Big Solo. I care less who lead the country. I just want leaders who really care for the betterment and positive growth of my country. Shake out from it today. Thank you very much. Hello, welcome to VOP.
Hello.
Yes, you're my last caller. So 1 minute.
Okay.
1 minute.
Okay. I will get.
Oh, Sammy.
Yeah.
Tell us the name where you're calling from, please, and then.
Okay. My name. Okay. I have called here in this radio station before I talk. I don't know how people are. In fact, the way they are reading, I don't know. Are they not tired of this suffering? Peter, Atiku, our problem is not them. The problem now is to move these people again. Whether Atiku, let it be an Atiku work together.
Okay, thank you.
Can Obi do it alone? Can Atiku do it alone?
Thank you.
I don't know what the kind of brain that these our people have.
Thank you. Unfortunately, we have to go. Let me read one or two questions before rounding up. I'm not swayed by regional loyalties or the nation that leadership should be determined by north or south, or notion rather that leadership should be determined by north or south. My allegiance lies with individuals who demonstrate courage and the will to confront our so-called leaders who often masquerade as authority figures while oppressing and exploiting the citizens. If a single family emerging to redeem Nigeria is the price to pay, so be it. To those strategizing to take power, they should know the secrets of surviving, knowing when to take risk, when to push forward, when to throw away, and what to keep. Amma from Ogun State, thank you very much. So the Peter Obi is coming to reform Nigeria and leave the others will follow. Otonye from Orile, good afternoon. Good morning, guys. My name is remains Maxwell in Zome. If the series of demolition that goes on in Lagos State has no political and ethnic dimensions, then why should the state government? Okay, that's not what we're talking about, Maxwell in Zome. Good evening, VOP. Ikena from Ikorodu. Mr. Sufo, as I have seen, listening from his opinion, is clear he is living well. He's not feeling what bad government is doing to Nigeria today, and he's APC man. Good afternoon, Solomon. Your words have your analyst indirectly biased and apparently listening to Tinubu. Daniel from Ikotun. Okay, thank you very much. This is where we draw the curtains for this week's edition, for today's edition of Matters and Voice of the People 90.3 FM. We'll be right back next week, Monday. And join us again at 1:30 p.m. on the Voice of the People 90.3 FM, and the program is Matters. Do follow our social media handles at VOP 903 FM. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at VOP 903 FM. Good afternoon, and thank you for listening. I am Solomon of FM. See you again next week.